In this lesson, we're going to look at tools for selecting and visualizing islands of 3D connected geometry. Now, the exploded view node's one way that we can visualize individual pieces, or islands of connected geometry, but it's not always the most convenient. We don't always want to have to push the geometry apart to be able to see the individual pieces, and nor do we have to. Because working with many different pieces of geometry within a single geometry container is such a common thing, Houdini provides us with some specific tools for visualizing and selecting individual pieces of 3D connected geometry. One of those is that we can display the boundaries of 3D islands by clicking on this button here in the Display Options toolbar. As soon as I do that, we see that all the boundary edges of each connected piece get highlighted in blue. So this is one method we can use to visualize the extents of each connected piece. The primary way of visualizing and selecting connected geometries by using the Select by 3D Connected Geometry option, which we can enable by using this button on the Operation Control toolbar here, or by using the number 9 hotkey whilst in select mode. By default, this is set to select by group, and we'll certainly be using this for selecting by groups later on, but to select by 3D connected geometry, we can use this select drop down, and in here we can choose this 3D connected geometry option. We see that we now have this window which displays a list of each island of connected geometry. The index, or the number of each island, is the first primitive in the connected piece. As I hover over each island in the list, we see that the island gets highlighted in the viewport. If I click on one of these items, then that selects that specific connected piece. As I hover my cursor directly over the geometry in the viewport, we see that the whole connected piece under the cursor gets highlighted, and the island in the list also gets highlighted in blue. Clicking on the piece in the viewport now selects the whole connected piece, and it also highlights the island in the list in the orange-yellow selection colour. It works in just the same way for points, edges and vertices. For example, if I switch to point selection mode, clicking on a point selects all the points on that connected piece of geometry. If I switch to edge selection mode, then clicking on an edge selects all the edges on the connected piece. By default, we get this colour overlay to help us identify each connected piece. Now, we can toggle this on or off using this button in the top right corner of the list window here. This colour overlay doesn't affect the way that the tool works. Clicking on a component in the viewport still selects the whole connected piece, and so does clicking on the label in the list. This button just toggles on or off the colour visualization for each connected piece. If we want to change the visualization colour of any of these islands, then we just click on a colour swatch, and that brings up the colour editor, and here we can select a different colour. And if I just accept that, we see that that connected piece is now visualized in the colour that I just selected. To revert back to the auto-generated colour, we can just click on the colour swatch again, and then select Clear Override. When we're in the Select by Groups or Connected Geometry mode, we can't select individual geometry components. We need to toggle it off again to be able to do that, and the quickest way of toggling it on or off is by using the number 9 hotkey. When you first toggle this mode on or off, you'll find that the viewport colour overlay persists until you perform an action to cause the viewport to redraw. For example, as soon as I orbit the viewport, we see that the colour overlay goes away. So now that I'm back in the standard selection mode, clicking on one of these edges selects the single edge again, and double-clicking selects the whole loop. Tapping the 9 key again re-enables the Select by Connected Geometry mode, and now if I hold down the Shift key, I can click on these other pieces to add all the edges on those pieces to my selection. So in this lesson, we've seen how we can easily visualize and select whole pieces of connected geometry using the Select by 3D Connected Geometry mode, and how we can display the boundaries of each connected island from the Display Options toolbar.